Okay, I'm delighted to say I'm being joined here by Susan Elson from Sodexo here at Offshore Europe 2019. How are you finding the conference and exhibition so far?
It's amazing. I think obviously Teca, the new venue, is just adding something special. But I think looking at the size and scale and the optimism that we haven't necessarily seen in the last few years, so it's a great event.
It is indeed. I'm so interested to talk to you because obviously, we speak to a lot of people here about technology and innovation and tools and, at Sodexo, the focus is so much on people, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what we are. We are about people, and our interface is with our consumers, with the people who work in the industry. So absolutely, it is all about people.
And what are some of the trends and key discussion topics that you find in your sector at the moment?
Well, we've been doing a lot of research over recent years, and particularly around the changing demographics of the industry. And I think what's most stark for me and for our organisation is what we see in the UK continental shelf. So the changes are far more stark in the UK than we're seeing elsewhere. So for instance, we're seeing a more dramatic ageing of the workforce. We're seeing younger workforce in other regions of the world, but we continue to age. Not a surprise, but what's interesting is it's still not a big strategic part of the industry. And coupled with that is the work on gender balance. And I know it's an absolute imperative for organisations, but we are standing still. Now, whether that's the impact of the downturn, whether that's we're just not getting the messaging right, but certainly actually offshore, the numbers haven't changed in the last 5 to 10 years. So somehow, coupled with the ageing workforce, which presents an opportunity because there is going to be future attrition and change, but unless we attract the people, unless we use the whole talent pool, we're really not going to address the whole gender balance issue.
So how are Sodexo trying to address that issue, as you say?
So from a personal point of view, I mean, it falls into two camps for me, because obviously ageing workforce, but also the female part of the business. So within Sodexo, and for me, I have another role within the organisation. I'm part of the Global Steering Committee on Gender Balance, and we're working very hard both on the messaging, but also the business case. And I think what we have to understand to improve gender, it's good for business. So in our business, we have proven it's good for client retention, it's good for reputation, absolutely positive impact on margin, absolutely positive impact on growth. So the case is there to address the gender balance. But if the messaging is the same as it always has been, we are not going to attract, develop and retain the female talent within the organisation. So we've absolutely put very positive actions in place. We have a leadership development initiative program across the world, which is aimed at our potential women leaders. And it addresses those key challenges for women in industry, the challenge around networking, self-promotion, confidence, being face-to-face, which generally as women, we're not very good at. We tend to, and I'm using very general because I know there are males who are in exactly the same position, but generally women will work very, very hard and just think, I'll be noticed. Whereas the male psyche will tend to say, hey, look at me, look what I've done, aren't I great? And we have to address that balance. So, but we're also, as well as the programs, we are positively working with our HR teams. Balanced slates is an absolute must when we're recruiting our future talent, and also working with HR just in terms of making sure that we monitor the impact of the programs that we're working on. And in 10 years within Sodexo, we have seen a significant shift from 15% of our leadership, our global leadership, females 10 years ago, to 34% today. Still not where we want to be, but I think the message from me is it takes time. You have to have buy-in, but you have to understand the business case.
Always work to be done, much work to be done. It's really interesting to get your views, Susan. Thank you very much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you very much. Thank you.